Started? Okay. So, if you've never heard of this podcast before or this YouTube channel, I don't know if it's really a podcast. A couple years ago, my brother and I started this thing called the Shedcast. We're editing it, we're giving it a go. Interest was lost pretty quick, but I've kept doing some shit. My name is Corey. I am the host of the Shedcast. I am your party host for this evening, your best man, your general manager, your friend to the end, maybe. Your dick, anyways. Sitting here in the shed in Kitchener, drinking not just a Molson Canadian, but I'm also drinking a Pabst Blue Ribbon. I do not support all this bullshit with the anti-American, anti-Canadian stuff that's going on. I think it's a bunch of fucking bullshit. I love both countries, and fuck politics. It's pretty bad that how divided things have become in the last little bit. It's funny though, I was just in Tampa recently. No one gave a shit that I was from Canada. It was like, oh, cool. Hey man, what's up? So I think a lot of the stuff you're seeing is just keyboard warriors on their phones. Whatever, man. Anyways, mostly Canadian. When I was down in Tampa, I had a thing come up on my phone for the Garza podcast. If you don't know who Garza is, he's Chris Garza. He plays guitar for Suicide Silence. Right there, silence. Oh, fuck, this guy's talking about Suicide Silence. Let's get off of this fucking thing. I don't mind the band. Not one of my favorites. It's deathcore. The only deathcore band I really like is Whitechapel. Suicide Silence has its moments. It's not my thing, but Chris Garza plays for them. He is a big death metal fan, and he's got a pretty cool podcast. He had Chris from Internal Bleeding on it. He's had Glenn Benton, Buddy from Dark Funeral, a bunch of other stuff. Anyways, the thing that came up on my phone, I was in Florida, was Chris Barnes is a guest on the Garza podcast. And I thought that was pretty cool. Actually, it was probably 4 or 5 nights. Like, I spent some time watching it on my phone. It's like 2.5 hours long or something like that. And there was something that Chris Barnes said about Corpsegrinder on there that had me thinking. And we'll get to that in a second. So Chris Barnes, if you've watched all their YouTube stuff and all the documentaries now, we all know about the bands he was in before and how Cannibal Corpse got together. We don't need to talk about that. So Barnes was in Cannibal Corpse between 88 and 95, or was it 96? I always thought he was out in 95, but maybe it was 96. I could be completely wrong there. So he did four full lengths, Eaten Back to Life, Butchered at Birth, Too Mutilated, The Bleeding, and he had done vocals for Created to Kill, which was vile. Never did come out. I guess there was a demo and some splits and stuff. Oh, and the EP, Hammer Smashed Face. And then you got Corpsegrinder from Monstrosity, who has been in the band from 96 to 2025. 29 fucking years. That's a long time when in being in any band. He's done 12 full lengths, a shitload of like EPs and splits and all that other stuff. So he's been in the band for a very long time. Now, when he joined the band, I was never anti-Corpsegrinder, but I just remember an interview on one of those metal VHS fucking tapes, whatever, where he was kind of shit-talking gore bands that talked about gore. Again, don't hate Barnes at all, or sorry, Corpsegrinder. I thought the song Vicious Mental Thirst and all that other shit that he did with Monstrosity was awesome. Great singer. But when he joined, it's like, well, that's a little odd. He doesn't like singing gory lyrics, but he's joining Cannibal Corpse. So one of the things about being old, like me, I got to see Cannibal Corpse five times with Barnes. I think a Cub. Once I was really young, I saw them for Butchered at Birth, Too Mutilated, a couple times at Milwaukee Metal Fest, and my favorite time when they played with fucking Grave in Montreal. I think Samael and Necronomicon were the openers. With Corpsegrinder, I think I've only seen them twice. once with Dimmu Borgir the Haunted, and believe it or not, Lamb of God was the opener. And then the other time, some band I was with opened for them. I think the Haunted, not the Haunted, Pissing Razors opened, and Forever the Pain was the other band. But where I'm going off length here. But anyways, full disclosure, I think that Corpsegrinder is an amazing singer. I've met him briefly. He was a great fucking guy when I met him. He is what I say still a character on stage, which I still to this day say a lot of death metal bands are missing that. It's just a dude up on stage saying, hey, this next song's called, hey, this next song's called. No, man. You need a fucking character on stage with death metal. If you don't look how you sound, act like you sound at least. You know, I think that death metal is a performance art. You know, sue me, whatever. But anyways, one of the things that Barnes said on the Garza podcast, he had a lot of stuff. I think it was a great podcast. Look it up. I'm not going to link anything. Just look up the Chris Garza podcast with Chris Barnes. One of the things that Barnes said was, and I'm not really taking the full quote here or anything, is that I don't think Corpsegrinder sings my songs very well. Take another drink before I keep going. I agree with that. I think that one of the things, and I thought this from the beginning, and when I've seen them live, and I've seen a million songs with them playing these huge fests and stuff like that, with Corpsegrinder playing with Cannibal Corpses, he don't sing the old songs very well. It's not that they suck. It seems like he's going through the motions. And I get Barnes too. Like, who the fuck wants to really hear the stuff that your song? Who wants to hear your songs being sang by someone else? But if they're gonna do them well. And I think that Corpsegrinder, as an amazing singer, just goes through the motions with it. I mean,